Lights on, belts tied. This is it. The engine's rumbling, feel it in the ground. Championship dreams, no backing down. One night left, everything to prove. Every lap a gamble, every move's a move. From green flag glory to heartbreak scars, it all comes down to these 100 laps. Battle of the Drury, championship fight. 100 laps under Friday Night Lights, presented by Klay, Comm. History inside, Cedar Lake's ready. This is do or die. Action is calling, the wait is past. Buckle up, y'all, we're hitting the gas. Who wants it? Who takes it? No more talk, let's race on. Championship night. Cedar Action starts now on right rear racing.
And welcome back to Right Rear Racing as we presented by Klay Comm. Tonight is your championship night. These drivers have went out there and broke this track in, got us to where it's going to be, but we do have 100 laps here tonight for your main event. No one will be starting on the back of the field for your main event, as we have not had 2 consecutive winners, and they just throwing out the checker flag. We're ready to go heat race action. Again, the heat races are, if I can get my notes back up on my screen for me. Sorry about that. You think I'd have it all down pat here, but your heat races are presented by One Source Exterior. One Source Exterior heat race number 1 is gridding up now, and starting on the pole is going to be the 157 of Drew Hopkins. On his outside is going to be the 010 of Brian Swafford. Inside row number 2 has the number 16 of Zach King. On his outside is going to be the 17 of Tyler Parsons. Inside row number 3 has the 27 of Matthew Terry. And on his outside is going to be the Dalton Brown and the 23 machine. Row 4 has Darren in the 68 machine. On the inside was Nolan Bryant on his outside in the 6. And rounding out the field for heat race number 1, again presented by One Source Exterior, is Alan McDonald in the 47. As the field comes off turn number 4, they're receiving the rolled up green flag. That means that we're going to be underway next time around. The field is going to be led by the 157 of Drew Hopkins with the 010 of Brian Swafford on his outside as they work their way down the back straightaway. So get ready to go here for your heat race number 1 action. The pace truck's going to speed off and hit that turn 1 exit. The 157 of Drew Hopkins is going to hit that loud pedal and get us underway here for your one circus exterior heat race number 1, followed by Brian Swafford running the outside line. We do have a slide job present already. That's going to be the 14 machine, and that's going to be Zach King in the 16 on your scoreboard. The 27 of Matthew Terry, he's moved up to the second position, or third position so far. Drew Hopkins is kind of walking away from the rest of the field as we have contact between second and third. They're going to pile up right behind him. We're going to go back there with Dalton Brown. Nolan Bryant, we do have a caution that comes out. We're going to go back with Zach King and take another look at it in that 14 machine as he's working his way down the front straightaway. Goes and looks down low. The front two there made contact, and the 14 had nowhere to go. And there's the 11 machine didn't have anywhere to go either. The 23 kind of slide him and then kept going. That's what brought up the caution. Again, it's going to be Drew Hopkins in that 157 machine, followed by the 010 of Brian Swafford. Matthew Terry in the 27 is going to be third. Nolan Bryant in the 6 machine, or I guess the number 11 car out there. He's going to be in position number 4. Dalton Brown in the 23 will round out your top 5. Tyler Parsons in the 17 machine is going to be 6th. Alan McDonald is currently 7th with Darren Literal in the 68, or I guess the 83 machine out there, and Zach King rounds out the field. The field received the rolled up green flag. That means that we're set to go back underway next time around. They're going to double it up as they go into turn number 1 here. Again, your ticker up there on the left-hand side of the screen will correct itself once we go green, as no caution laps are counted. And thank you, everyone, for liking the stream, sharing the stream. It's greatly appreciated as we go into turn number 3. Drew Hopkins and Brian Swafford are side by side, getting ready to hit that loud pedal. Drew Hopkins is going to hit that loud pedal and get us back underway for your one-circle exterior heat race number 1. Brian Swafford is going to try to that outside line. We're going to be 3 wide for position number 3. That's going to be the 11 machine on the outside, the 27 in the middle, and the 23 of Dalton Brown working the bottom. And Dalton Brown is going to move up into your 3rd spot as they're working their way off of turn number 4. And Dalton's still working that bottom side. Brian's up there on top as they come off turn number 2. Give the second positions to Dalton Brown there slightly, as we do have the cross flags as we're halfway through with heat race number 1 here in the books. The 10 machine of Brian Swafford, he's going to look a little bit lower here as Dalton Brown's working the outside. Again, Drew Hopkins is leading the field, as that's going to be Dalton Brown working the outside line. That's going to allow Brian Swafford to come back around. And we're watching your battle for second between the 23 and the 10, as the 10 is working the bottom side mid. They're in 3 and 4. We do have a little bit of contact, and we do have 2 laps remaining here in your heat race number 1. Drew Hopkins has led it since the drop of the green. Brian Swafford in second, and that's Nolan Bryant in the 11 machine moved to 3rd, as we do have the white flag, and that's going to be Drew Hopkins getting the white flag here for your one-source exterior heat race number 1. Working his way down the back straightaway into turn number 3. As he's working his way off turn number 4, he's going to take the win here in heat race number 1, followed by Brian Swafford and Nolan Bryant for your top 3. And your rest of your results here, which will go away here just momentarily, then come back up. Finishing in 4th is going to be Matthew Terry, followed by Alan McDonald, Darren Literal, Dalton Brown, Tyler Parsons, and Zach King. We do have your one-source exterior heat race number 2 on the lineup now. And starting on the pole is going to be the number 30 of Bobby Madeline. On his outside is going to be the number 10 of Blaine Shepard. Inside row number 2 has the number 7 of Cody McDonald. And on his outside is going to be Philip Neese in the 38. Row number 3 has Justin Benefield in the 14 machine. On his outside is going to be the number 11 of Evan Hinkle. Row 4 has Jason Lear in the 1 machine. On his outside is going to be Chance Slay in the 22. And rounding out the field for heat race number 2 action here is going to be Race Cash in his 109. As they work their way down the front straightaway, they receive the rolled up green flag. That means that we're going to be back or get underway next time around. Again, the field is led by Bobby Madeline and Blaine Shepard. as they work their way off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. The pace truck should be speeding off as they're coming off turn number 4. You see the pace truck kind of dive down and speed off, going to hit that exit there on turn number 1. And Bobby Mattingly is going to hit that loud pedal and get us underway here for heat race number 2 action presented by One Source Exterior. As the Bobby Mattingly is going to work the bottom side, and that's going to be Blaine Shepard working high the 28. That's going to be Cody McDonald there working the bottom mid there. And we do have Blaine Shepard working the outside lane there. Again, the numbers aren't correlating with what I have on your ticker there. So I'm trying to figure out who that's going to be. Justin Benefield and that 30 machine working the bottom side, moved up into your 3rd spot, and Evan Hinkle's moved up into your 4th spot. Blaine Shepard started on the outside pole. He's moved back to your 5th position. We're going to have a side-by-side battle for your 2nd position as Cody McDonald and Justin Benefield are going to be running side-by-side as they work their way off turn number 4 down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Justin's working bottom, and Cody's working that mid side as they're still side by side, working their way down the back straightaway into turn number 3. This time around off of turn number 4, we're going to receive the cross flags as we're halfway through with heat race number 2 action here. The 28 machine of Cody McDonald, he's getting that middle groove working for him, and Bobby Mattingly is up there in the front, still leading the way as they work their way off of turn number 4 once again. We're going to go back to your 4th position as I seen that Blaine Shepard's kind of closed the door there on Evan Hinkle, trying to move up into that 4th spot. We do have a side-by-side battle. That's going to be Philip Neese and the 22 of Chance Slay. They're working side-by-side. That's going to be a battle for 6 on your screen as they work their way down the front straightaway. And we do have the popsicle sticks showing as we do have 2 laps remaining here in heat race number 2. We're going to go back up to the front as they're receiving the white flag. And that's going to be Bobby Mattingly taking the white flag. Cody McDonald's trying to close that gap there as have one more chance here down the back straightaway into turn number 3. As they go into turn number 3, Bobby Mattingly is holding on to that middle groove, and Cody McDonald's looking down low, but it's going to be Bobby Mattingly taking the win, followed by Cody McDonald and Justin Benefield. As you see, all these drivers are coming off the track there. That's where your exit to pit lane is. And we go take another look at your finishing lineup for heat race number 2 action. Evan Hinkle is going to finish in 4th. Blaine Shepard rounds out your top 5. Philip Neese in 6th. Chance Slay 7th. Jay Slayer 8th. And Race Cash rounds out the field. That's going to be it for your heat race action here tonight. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break here for these drivers to get ready, use the restroom, do whatever they need to do to get ready for their 100 lap event here tonight. Kind of jumped on and we went straight into racing. Again, this is the Battle of Bluegrass series presented by Klay Comm. All your heat races were presented by One Source Exterior. We do have your hard charger. That's going to be presented by Todd Steel Buildings. Big Al Guns is your halfway point leader sponsor. Again, thanks to all the sponsors here with the Battle of Bluegrass. It would not be, or they couldn't have been able to do it without you. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there. And we got a lot of Philip Neese fans in here, cheering them on. I'm going to put a little ticker up there on the left-hand side of the screen as you kind of see the countdown until we get underway. Again, we're going to have 100 laps here tonight, and will be your championship. This is your championship night. I don't have the points sitting in front of me to give you the rundown of your close points battles or who's even leading the points. It's been a great honor to be able to broadcast this whole series, and hopefully we can come back and do it once again. And sorry if I feel like, if it's like I'm yelling at y'all during this broadcast, as I'm still trying to get my hearing back from not wearing ear protection or anything while I was at the Tulsa shootout yesterday, watching that race. Those races were awesome, but we're going to have I feel like we're going to have a better show here tonight for your 100 lap race here at Cedar Lake. Expect these drivers to go down low, expect them to go up high. You've seen them already working that middle groove. That top side will be coming in later, and that bottom side will continue to be there as these drivers are going to be lining up here momentarily as their 3-minute downtime has concluded. And starting on your pole tonight, it's going to be the 157 of Drew Hopkins. On his outside, you're going to see the number 30 of Bobby Madeley. Inside row number 2 has Brian Swafford in the 010. And on his outside will be Cody McDonald in the 7 machine. Nolan Bryant's going to be inside row number 3 in that 6 machine with Justin Benefield on his outside in the 14. Row number 4 has Matthew Terry in the 27 machine with Evan Hinkle on his outside in the 11. Alan McDonald's going to be inside row number 5 in his 47 machine with Blaine Shepard on his outside in the 10. Darren Literal in the 68 is going to be inside row number 6 with Philip Neese on his outside in the 38. Row 7 has Dalton Brown on the inside in his 23 machine with Chance Slay on this outside with the 22. Tyler Parsons in the 17 is going to be inside row number 8 with Jace Lear on his outside in the 1 machine. And rounding out the final row here tonight is going to be Zach King in the 16 with Race Cash on his outside in the 109. As these drivers are coming around front off of turn 4 down the front straightaway, they should be receiving the road up green flag, as the field will be led by Drew Hopkins and Bobby Madeley here. As they come off turn number 2 down the back straightaway, the field is going to stack up right behind them, getting ready to go green here for your final feature of the Battle of the Bluegrass series, presented by Klay Comm. You see that pace truck pulling off quick there off turn number 4. As they come off for the 157, Drew Hopkins is going to hit that lap pedal and get us underway here for your 100 laps at Cedar Lake. As Drew is working that middle groove, he's going to get a good run off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Bobby Madeley is going to try to follow suit, followed by the 27 of that's Cody McDonald. We're going to be 3 wide there momentarily as the drivers are working off of turn number 4, and Justin Benefield is going to be sitting in 4th, and the Brian Swafford in the 10 machine is going to try to get that bottom to mid groove working. He has the 11 machine. That's going to be Nolan Bryant in that 11 machine trying to get that bottom side going. But here comes Evan Hinkle in the 7 machine working the outside groove. Some of these drivers will be saving some tires as we do have 100 laps here tonight. As we follow along with your deeper in the field, we're sitting in the 4th and 5th place here with, this is 5th and 6th between 10 and 7. That's going to be Nolan Bryant and, if I can get my things right here, that's Brian Swafford and Evan Hinkle. And we're going to go back up towards the front here as everyone's kind of single file. We're going to go back towards the back here with 47 of Alan McDonald. He's going to try to work that bottom side, take over your 6th position away from Brian Swafford here early on in this event. Dalton Brown in that 23 machine, he's working that bottom side as they work around turns 3 and 4. The 11, that's going to be 6 machine on your score timing loop there. That's going to be Nolan Bryant trying to get that bottom side going too and follow along with Dalton Brown as they work their way into turn number 3. As they work their way after turn number 4, it's still going to be Dalton Brown sitting in your 7th position, trying to reel in Adam McDonald and Evan Hinkle there in 6th and 5th respectively. As I know that we have a lot of Philip Neese fans here. Philip sitting in your 11th position as he's moved up 1 spot so far. He's trying to get that outside groove going. Again, we're still early in this race here as we only have completed 9 laps in the books. And you see all these drivers kind of bunched up together. And that's going to be, I believe that's Brian Swafford that's slowing up on the outside. And that was Brian Swafford. He's moved back to the 15th position. We're going to go back up to your 9th position. That's going to be Blaine Shepard and Chance Slay as Blaine Shepard's trying to get that outside groove going. Chance Slay is trying to work that bottom side, and we do have Nolan Bryant trying to maintain that 8th position, as Blaine Shepard's trying to get that outside going and get into the 8th spot here early in your race. As they're working their way off turn number 4 down the front straightaway. We're going to go back towards the front. As I kind of glanced up there, it looks like we're still kind of a single file racing, and this is your best battle on the screen so far. Dalton Brown's in that 7th position. He's right there by himself. Alan McDonald's trying to close the gap on Evan Hinkle. Again, some of these drivers are just trying to save some tires here in this earliest stage of this race. And we're going to have a caution flag here on lap 14. As we go take a look at Darren Littoral. As he's coming off of 4 there down the front straightaway, the 27 machine had kind of gassed it up there whenever he slipped up there in front of him, tried to do a slide job, and that's what brought out the caution. And do a quick rundown here as we are under caution flag. Drew Hopkins is going to be in the lead, trying to hold off Bobby Madeley. Cody McDonald in 3rd. Justin Benefield in 4th. Evan Hinkle and rounds out your top 5. Alan McDonald in 6th. Dalton Brown in 7th. Blaine Shepard in 8th. Chance Lay 9th. And Nolan Bryant rounds out your top 10. As the field works their way down the back straightaway, we're going to go back underway this time around, as the field is working their way into turn number 3. As they work their way off turn number 4, Drew Hopkins hitting that loud pedal and getting us back underway here. Going into turn number 1, Bobby Madeley is going to go up high. Drew Hopkins is going to throw a little short slider there as he's working his way off turn number 2, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Cody McDonald's going to try to work that bottom side there as they're working their way off turn number 4, and that's going to be Justin Benefield working the outside lane there in that 30 machine, as we do have a 157 and a 30 and a 30 for your top 3 as they're working their way around 3 and 4 there. Sorry, I got confused with this camera moving from every direction here. Working their way off turn number 2, it's still going to be Drew Hopkins, Bobby Madeley, and Justin Benefield. And Cody McDonald's holding on to your 4th position, but we do have a car trying to work that bottom side. And we're going to be 3 wide here down the front straightaway, going in turn number 1 there. That's going to be Evan Hinkle working the bottom side, Alan McDonald working the outside, and Dalton Brown trying to work that middle groove as they're working their way around 3 and 4 there. Evan's still working the bottom side, trying to save some tire here for late in the race, as Dalton Brown's trying to get that outside going with Alan McDonald as they're working their way down the back straightaway into turn number 3. And we do have another caution here. That's going to be with Matthew Terry, as we follow along with Matthew Terry in the 27 machine here, coming off turn number 4. Going high in turn number 1, the 83 hits the outside wall there, and the 23 had nowhere to go, or 27 had nowhere to go, and then it looks like he might have broke and came back in front of the 83, and that's what brought out the caution there. You know, it's going to be Drew Hopkins, Bobby Madeley, Justin Benefield, Cody McDonald, Dalton Brown for your top 5, Alan McDonald sitting 6th, Evan Hinkle in 7th, Blaine Shepard 8th, Chance Lay 9th, and Philip Neese rounds out your top 10. As the field just received the rolled up green flag, that means that we're about to go back underway, working their way off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway as they're double filed, ready to go back underway. Going to turn number 3, the pace truck's going to speed up and exit off turn 1, and Drew Hopkins is going to hit that loud pedal and get us back underway here for your feature action. And working for 2nd, Bobby Madeley is going to work the outside lane. Justin Benefield is trying to work the bottom side in 1 and 2 on this start, as Justin Benefield is still going to go down low in 3 and 4, trying to maintain that bottom side there. Coming off turn number 4, it's still going to be Bobby Madeley holding on to your 2nd position, and Cody McDonald is trying to follow suit and work that outside groove and make a pass for 2nd. or sorry, make that third, as we do have a caution flag. We're going to go along with Philip Neese in the 38 machine as he's working the outside groove here. And 3 and 4. The 22 machine comes up just a little bit. That's not the issue. The 47 of Alan McDonald comes up, clips the nose of Philip Neese, and Neese hits that wall right there for your pit road entry on turn number 1 and broke that right front tire. And that's what brought out the caution. As we see Neese right there coming back out onto the track. Again, it's going to be Drew Hopkins, Bobby Madeline, Justin Benefield, Cody McDonald, Dalton Brown, Evan Hinkle, Blaine Shepard, Alan McDonald, Chance Slay, and Nolan Bryant for your top 10. Now we're set to go underway this time around as they're working their way off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, double filed up, ready to go. As they go into turn number 3. And Drew's going to hit that loud pedal once again and gets back underway here for your 100 lap feature event here for championship night. As Drew's going to go to the top immediately here, working his way through 1 and 2. We're going to be side by side for position number 2. That's going to be Bobby Madeline working the outside, Justin Benefield working the bottom side, and the blue number 30 on the bottom. And on his outside is going to be Cody McDonald trying to work that outside line there with, I believe that's Evan Hinkle. Yes, that's going to be Evan Hinkle working the outside right behind McDonald, as Justin Benefield and Dalton Brown were working the bottom side. I think Dalton gathered a tire there. Drew's coming down to the bottom side there in 1 and 2, working his way down the back straightaway. Bobby Madeline's closing the door there on the outside line. As next time around, we will have 25 laps in the books. Again, it's going to be Drew Hopkins, Bobby Madeline, and Cody McDonald for your top 3. Evan Hinkle's moved up into that 4th position, and Justin Benefield rounds out your top 5, trying to hold off Alan McDonald, as Alan McDonald's looking down low in 1 and 2. Coming off turn number 2, it's still going to be Justin Benefield holding on to that 5th position. We are going to be 3 wide here, coming off turn number 4 there momentarily. That's going to be with Darren, Dalton, and Nolan. That's not Nolan there. I believe that was Nolan there, actually. We're going to be side by side. We just missed that one. That's a battle for 3rd between Evan and Cody McDonald. They had a little bit of contact there. And now Evan in that 7 machine is going to move up into your 3rd spot, holding off Cody McDonald in the 28. As we go back and look at Alan McDonald in that 47 machine, he's trying to get that bottom side going, but trying to hold off the 83 of Darren. As Darren's working the outside groove, we're down the front straightaway, going into turn number 1. The 47 of Alan McDonald still trying to get that bottom side going, but give the position to Darren. And that's going to be for position number 6. But here comes Dalton Brown working that 7th position. He's trying to get 6 back away from Darren as they work their way down the front straightaway. We have a slide job from Dalton Brown. Oh, we got a little bit of contact there, and we watched it there. We're going to see from another angle once this caution flag comes out. They're running side by side here, coming off turn number 4, going into turn number 1. You see Darren made contact with the outside wall just a little bit. Here comes a slide job from Dalton Brown. And kind of a little bit of contact. We're going to go watch that one back once again. As we take another look at it here, and that's kind of what happened there. And we're set to go back underway next time around. The front row is going to be Dalton I'm sorry, that's going to be Drew Hopkins and Bobby Madeline still. As they work their way into turn number 3 and to that start zone, Drew Hopkins is going to hit that loud pedal and get us back underway once again. Bobby Madeline is going to go up high as Evan Hinkle's working down low with Justin Benefield in tow. As they work their way off turn number 2, down the back straightaway, Bobby Madeline is going to get that outside groove going. He's trying to throw that slide job line there in 3 and 4. As they work their way off turn number 4, it's still going to be Drew Hopkins, Bobby Madeline, and Evan Hinkle. And we do have, I don't know what's happened with our loop there, as it just threw Jace Lear, Tyler Parsons, and Blaine Shepard in front of your leaders as they work their way back through the field here. Once again, it's going to be Drew Hopkins, Bobby Madeline, and Evan Hinkle for your top 3. Cody McDonald is going to be in that 28 machine trying to reel in these leaders as we near the halfway point of this race. Dalton Brown in that 23 machine, he's moved up 8 spots and he's rounds out your top 5. And Justin Benefield is sitting in 6th currently. As we go up to your second position or third position of Evan Hinkle, he's trying to get that bottom side going in 1 and 2. He's giving room there to Bobby Madeline on the exit, but he's right there. He's working the outside groove in 3 and 4. As they come off front straight away, you see that Evan's going to go down low here in 1 and 2. And it's still giving room to Bobby as they exit. And the other 2 drivers are working the opposite line. And that's allowing Cody McDonald to kind of close the gap just a little bit. Now Evan's going to go up high there in 1 and 2. Get a good run here and stay up top here in 3 and 4. And Bobby Madeline is still holding on to that second position as Evan has closed that gap on Bobby here. Coming down off turn 2, down the back straightaway, it's still going to be Drew Hopkins trying to hold on to that lead away from Bobby Madeline and Evan Hinkle. As Evan's getting a good hard charge here off of turn number 4. Evan's going to go down low, going to turn number 1. He's going to get a good run. Let's see if he can get a good exit here. He's giving room to the leaders as they came off turn 2, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. As everyone's kind of working the outside line, we're going to come back here to your 4th position as Cody McDonald's trying to hold off Dalton Brown in that 23 machine. As Dalton's going to go up high, and Cody's throwing the slide job line there on himself as we near the halfway point of this race. And Evan kind of slipped up there in turn number 3, but he's going to come look down low in turn number 1. He's looking to throw a slide job here on Bobby. Bobby's going to cross him back over, and Bobby's going to work down low going in turn number 3. Evan's working that top side in 3 and 4. He's looking to cut down line there off of turn 4. We're going to be side by side up the front straightaway. This is your battle for second on the screen between Bobby and Evan, as Bobby's working that outside groove still, and Evan gave him room as they came off turn number 2. As they come off turn 4, we're going to be side by side going to turn number 1. And here comes a slide job from Evan. Evan's short sliding it as Bobby's going to cross him over, give second spot to Evan Hinkle. But it's not going to be easy, as Bobby Madeline is going to be hard charging here once again. As these two kind of battled here for second position. Drew Hopkins has walked away just a little bit as they start reeling them in once again. Dalton Brown and Cody McDonald has closed the gap on these 2 as well. Looks like we do have Blaine Shepard in that 10 machine. He's holding a black flag on himself here. I don't know what happened for his black flag. As Drew Hopkins still in the lead, trying to hold off Evan Hinkle, as these 2 kind of put a little bit of separation between themselves and the field. And they're reaching the back of the field, and lap traffic will become a factor here within the next 5 laps. With 2 laps until our halfway point here tonight. It's been Drew Hopkins since the drop of the green. Evan Hinkle's moved up 6 spots into your second position. Dalton Brown has moved up 8 spots, rounding out your top 5. And next time around will be your halfway point. And your Big Al's Guns halfway leader is going to go to Drew Hopkins in that 157. Thanks to Big Al's Guns for sponsoring the halfway point leader. Again, that's going to go to Drew Hopkins in that 157. We have 50 laps here remaining. Can Drew close up the gap here or maintain the lead for the next 50 laps? As we do have 4 lap traffic cars right there in front of your leaders. Evan Hinkle's going to round up or be in second, moving up 6 spots. Bobby Madeline in that 30 machine is going to be in third. Cody McDonald in his 28 machine is going to be in fourth, and Dalton Brown in the 23 will round out your top 5. We also have Justin Benefield there in his blue number 30, running 6. And your top 6 drivers are kind of right there on top of each other. The first car that's going to go down a lap, that's going to be the Tyler Parsons in that 17 machine. He's working down low. That's giving room to Drew Hopkins and the rest of your leaders. And we do have a battle here for position between Zach King and Alan McDonald right in front of your leaders, as Alan McDonald's working the outside line, giving room to Zach King working down low. But here comes Drew Hopkins trying to get that bottom side going and trying to make a pass here to put these 2 drivers down the lap. Doesn't want to hold up hold up too long here to let everyone else close the gap here on them, as Drew's working that bottom side here in 3 and 4. Your leaders are working down low, as Drew's got around one of them. Evans working his way around another, sliding up in front of one of the other ones here. And Dalton Brown is working that bottom side groove, and lap traffic has allowed him to move up into your 3rd spot around Bobby Madeline, as Bobby got working that outside groove and got stuck behind a lap traffic. Oh, we do have contact here for 4th. That's going to be between your 30s. That's going to be Bobby Madeline and Justin Benefield, as Cody McDonald has moved back to your 6th position. We're going to go back up to the front, as Drew's has a little bit of breathing room here with Evan Hinkle in 2nd. Dalton Brown, your current Todd Steele Buildings hard charger, moved up to 3rd, moving up 10 spots so far. Your next car to go down a lap will be Jace Lear here in that 1 machine, as you take a look here with him battling with the 010 of Brian Swafford. And we do have a caution flag coming out. As we go take a look with Alan McDonald in that 47 machine, as he's working that outside groove in 1 and 2. Bobby Madeline's down low, and Justin Benefield's there too, as they come off turn number 2, hits the outside wall just a little bit, comes down, clips the right rear of Bobby Madeline and spins it around and breaks off his nose clip there on the back straightaway. We've had some good racing action here so far tonight. It looks like everyone's working that high side, but they can go down to the bottom and maneuver. With us having less than 40 laps remaining, I expect these drivers to start hammering down instead of saving tire. And we do have Drew Hopkins in the lead, Evan Hinkle 2nd, Dalton Brown 3rd, Bobby Madeline in 4th, Justin Benefield in 5th, Cody McDonald 6th, Chancellor 7th, Philip Neese has worked his way back up to 8th, Blaine Shepard in 9th, and Brian Swafford rounds out your top 10. As the pace truck is going to speed off here, going in coming off turn 4. Drew Hopkins is going to hit that loud pedal and get us back underway here for your final feature of the Battle of the Bluegrass series, presented by Klay Comm. Evan Hinkle's going to try to get that outside groove going as they come off turn number 2. Dalton Brown slid up. He's going to be right there, right behind Evan. And we do have this side-by-side battle here for 4th on this restart. That's going to be the Battle of the 30s once again. Give the 4th position to Bobby Madeline as they work their way down the front straight into turn number 1. The 28 of Cody McDonald, he's going to look down low in turns 3 and 4. He's going to try to get a run on Justin Benefield as they work their way off turn number 4. Then we go up there and look. You see Drew Hopkins in that 157. He's working that bottom. He's working the hot bottom here on both sides of the track with Evan Hinkle working the top side. And as soon as I say that, Drew's going to go back up to the top side in 1 and 2. Evan Hinkle's going to be in tow, following suit. We do have a car that's going to be coming a lap down here shortly, as we do have 64 laps in the books. Everyone's kind of spaced out here just a little bit, as that's going to be the 47. That's going to be the 47 of Alan McDonald. That's going to be coming up as lap traffic here soon. We do have your battle for the lead heating up just a little bit with a 7 of Evan Hinkle right there on top of Drew Hopkins in the 157 as they work their way after turn number 4. Drew's going to go low and Evan's going to go high. Evan's going to hit the outside wall. That's going to allow as everyone else is. That's going to allow Dalton Brown to close the door just a little bit. Again, your ticker has messed up there just a little bit, as it's still Drew. And that, as soon as I say that, it's going to fix itself here. And Evans going to hit that wall once again. That's going to allow Dalton Brown to close the good gap here. Dalton's looking down low, going to turn number 1. As they come off turn number, or I'm sorry, that's 3 and 4 here. Trying to get ticker all worked out too. Evans working the bottom side there in 1 and 2. Follow same there with Dalton Brown. Now Drew Hopkins is going to go up high in 3 and 4. Try to get a good run. Going to go down low in 1 and 2. That's going to be the 47 of Alan McDonald working the outside there, right in front of your leaders. Trying not to go a lap down here once again. Evan Hinkle's going to try to close the gap here with 30 laps remaining. We have 30 laps remaining for your Battle of Bluegrass before we crown a champion. Drew Hopkins is right there on top of Alan McDonald, trying to give room, trying to pace himself, as he most likely is not looking in the mirror and doing it all by feel, as he's running that middle groove there off of turn 4. Kind of saving a little bit of tire. Oh, we do have one flipping right there, right in front of your leaders. That might be an issue, as that's going to be Tyler Parsons. As Tyler goes in hot in the turn, that's going to be in 3 and 4. Coming down the front straightaway, kind of loosey-goosey there. Hits the outside wall there for your pit entrance, and all these drivers kind of get separated and missed them there going into turn number 1, and that's what brings out your caution here this time around. If I had my cockpit view set up, we'd be riding on board with him to see how well it was, you know, how well of a ride it was. And we got some Dalton fans in here. He's running in 3rd. He's trying to close that gap on Evan Hinkle and Drew Hopkins. And your current hard charger will be Dalton Brown, as he's moved up 10 spots, sitting in that 3rd spot. Drew Hopkins, Evan Hinkle, Dalton Brown, Bobby Mattingly, Justin Benefield, Cody McDonald, Chance Lay, Blaine Shepard, Philip Neese, and rounding out your top 10 will be Brian Swafford. As we work our way down the back straightaway into turn number 3, the pace truck's going to be speeding it up to get that exit there on turn number 1. Drew Hopkins is going to hit that loud pedal and get us back underway here at Cedar Lake for your USA 100. As Drew Hopkins is working that bottom side going, here comes Dalton Brown working that bottom side as well right there with him. Dalton's going to move up into your 2nd position. He's going to slide up there in 3 and 4. That's going to allow Evan Hinkle to try to poke his nose underneath, going to turn number 1. Evans down there on the bottom side as Dalton's working the outside. We're going to be side by side for position number 2, but Dalton has a huge run coming off turn number 2. He's going to slide up there, coming off and come off turn number 4 on the outside line. He's going to maintain that 2nd position. He's not holding back anymore, as we do have 25 laps remaining here for your main event here tonight. As Dalton Brown's working the outside group, he's trying to close the gap on Drew Hopkins. As remember last week, for your top 3 was Drew, Dalton, and Evan, and they're all running top 3 right now, trying to hold off. And we're gonna be, ooh, that was close, and Evan gave room on that slide job. As now Bobby Mattingly is going to work the outside here in 1 and 2, try to get a good run on Evan Hinkle, as the 30 of Bobby Mattingly is going to slightly have the slight advantage there going into turn number 3. As they work their way off turn number 4, it's going to be Bobby Mattingly move up into your 3rd position. We do have a lap traffic that's going to play a factor here soon. Unless that, no, that was just Drew that I seen in the corner of my eye. Sorry about that. As Drew Hopkins is still out there in the front, as Dalton Brown in that 23 machine is trying to close the gap. Bobby Mattingly is going to be right there with Evan Hinkle still battling it out for your top 3. As we do have 20 laps remaining here tonight. Evans working the bottom side. Oh, that's going to be Bobby Mattingly going off the track. Are we going to have a caution flag for that one? And that's going to allow Evan Hinkle to move up. That's going to allow everyone to move up as Evan Hinkle's moved up into your top 3. Justin Benefield in 4th. Cody McDonald 5th. Chance Slay 6th. Blaine Shepard in 7th. Jay Slayer in 8th. Philip Neese is trying to get that outside going and move up into your 8th spot. We're going to go back up to the front here as they were getting close to battling, as Drew Hopkins is still in the lead. Dalton Brown, we do have the yellow flag coming up. We're going to go back and take a look at that with Bobby Madley hitting the outside wall and exiting the track there. I don't know why the caution did not come out. I just see him sliding right there in 1 and 2, or 3 and 4. Going in turn number 1 here. Hits that wall with his right rear, just jumps it, skateboards it a little bit, and makes his way off the track and breaks his nose there. And that's what brings out the caution. Made his way back onto the track and brings out the caution there. And we should be going this time around, coming off turn number 4, as Drew Hopkins and Dalton Brown will be the front 2 for your front row here in your last 15 laps of this race. Going to turn number 3, side by side. Dalton's going to try to get a good jump on Drew as they come off turn number 4. Drew Hopkins is going to hit that live pedal and get us underway. Dalton's going to work the outside there, going to turn number 1 as Drew Hopkins is working the bottom side, bringing along Evan Hinkle. But that's Dalton getting a good run there off of turn number 2. Here comes Drew sliding up right in front of Dalton, coming off turn number 4, going to turn number 1. Dalton's maintaining the outside groove there as Drew's working that bottom groove. And the bottom seems like it's there in 1 and 2 as Drew's working that slide job line in 3 and 4. Dalton Brown's maintaining your second position, moved up 11 spots so far. Justin Benefield is going to hit that outside wall. That's going to allow Evan Hinkle to move up into your 3rd spot momentarily, as Justin Benefield is moved back up into your 3rd spot here, and then closing the laps of this race. Again, we're going to be watching here as Dalton Brown's trying to close the gap on Drew, but Justin Benefield, he's right there as well. He's wanting to try to get that second position away from Dalton, as Drew's working the bottom side there in 1 and 2. And Dalton Brown is working the outside groove in 1 and 2. He's worked a short slider there in 3 and 4, as he's working the top side there in 1 and 2 as well, trying to get a good run on Drew Hopkins there on the bottom side of the track. And Justin Benefield is trying to hold off Evan Hinkle, as Evan Hinkle's trying to hold off Cody McDonald. And that's going to be Cody McDonald's trying to close the gap there on Evan, trying to make a battle here for 4th. We're going to go back up as Drew kind of made, that's Dalton Brown kind of making a little bit of contact. So did Justin Benefield, if I'm not mistaken. That allowed Evan Hinkle to close the gap here with 10 laps remaining in your main event. Evan's going to work down low, trying to get a good run here off of turn number 2. Top side is just there on turn number 2 for a good run, and that's going to allow Justin Benefield to take over your 3rd spot once again, as Dalton's working the outside, trying to close that gap on Drew here for your last 10 laps. And throwing that slider line, Justin Benefield's right there as well. Drew's kind of working that bottom side, as you see there, is working his way around the track on the very bottom of the track, on both sides of the track, really. I'm trying to work my way through the field here for your closing laps. Carter, it looks like going into turn number 1, hitting that outside wall, kind of scrubs his time, just like right there, as he's working his way through 1 and 2. Then that slide job there, or slide job line there in 3 and 4 is right. Seems like that's the right line for him to run. Just don't know how much tire he has left with 5 laps remaining here tonight. As you see, all the drivers are kind of working the outside groove, except for Drew Hopkins there for your top 6. And so make that your top 5 as Blaine Shepard in this Tim Machine is going to be sitting 6 as everything's working its way back around as I was following along with Blaine Shepard in that Tim Machine, and he kind of glitched out, so your ticker will have to get back up here. As Dalton Brown's working the outside groove, trying to catch in Drew Hawkins here, as Drew's working his way off of turn number 4. Going to receive the popsicle sticks as we have 2 laps remaining here for your USA 100 at Cedar Lake. Dalton Brown still working the outside groove, trying to get it going, trying to find something out there to bring in, to reel in Drew Hawkins. But this time around with Drew coming off turn number 4, he's getting that white flag. One last chance for Dalton Brown to try to catch in Drew. But Drew is being steady there on the bottom there through 1 and 2. We do have a battle for 4th, I believe, back there as Drew is working his way off turn number 4. He's going to take home the win here, followed by Dalton Brown and Justin Benefiel for your top 3. And 4th, give it to Evan Hinkle in that 7 Machine. And rounding out your top 5, we'll go to Cody McDonald. As we're going to hear from your top 3 here momentarily. And we don't care. We don't want to see the Heat Race 2 feature results. Wait for Drew here in that 157 to do some parade laps and donuts. Again, your unofficial results here is going to be Drew Hawkins in that 157 winning the race, followed by Dalton Brown in the 23. Justin Benfield is going to be in 3rd, Evan Hinkle in 4th, and rounding out your top 5 will be Cody McDonald. In 6th is Blaine Shepard, 7th, Chance Slay, 8th will go to Jace Lear, 9th to Philip Neese, and rounding out your top 10 will be Nolan Bryant. Bobby Madeley finishes in 11th, Alan McDonald 12th, Brian Swafford in 13th, Tyler Parsons in 14th, Zach King 15th, Darren Literal in 16th, Race Cash 17th, and rounding out in 18th we'll go to Matthew Terry. That is rounding out the field with Matthew Terry. Again, that's going to be your USA 100 here tonight for your Battle of the Bluegrass presented by Klay Comm Championship Night. We're going to hear from your top 3 here momentarily, see if they're ready to go. As we're going to hear from Mr. Benefield first. And looking at my sheet here, Dalton Brown not only came home with 2nd, but he did come home with your Todd Steel Building's Hard Charger, moving up 11 spots. And Justin, do you got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Man, that was a battle there. This is the first 100 lap race that we had here for the Battle of Bluegrass. What was your tactic going into that event with saving tires? When were you going to go and start just hammering down? Don't care about tires anymore.
Probably about lap 70. I was just kind of riding around. There's a few people that got around me, but I wasn't too worried about it. About lap 70, I was like, well, we got to go.
And that you did. You came up there and obviously finished up in 3rd on the podium here tonight. Then late in the race, after you said that let's go with lap 70 there, seemed like that outside wall, especially in 1 and 2, would just reach out and grab you. Did that play a factor with where you wanted to run your line throughout the race?
Yeah, I was trying to get inching as close as I could to the wall. That's where to get the traction from and stuff like that. I don't see how Drew was getting around the bottom like he was. I tried a few times, but I was going backwards, so I had to I had to keep going right around the wall.
And honestly, I don't know how Drew got it working down there on the bottom, but I know me, honestly, with how slick this track is, trying to work that bottom side, I'm going to hit those tires and I'm going to come back up the track and take you out.
Yeah, there's a few times on the heat or on the restarts I had to start on the bottom, and I just rode around the bottom, and I couldn't get nothing going. I tried there a few times just to see what it would do, and I wasn't going nowhere.
I mean, but overall, did something, or you did good. You figured your way around the track. You raced clean tonight. I mean, you honestly race clean every time that we ever watch you here on Right Rear Racing. Um, I think tonight was a good race that you put on, and I'm trying to pull up my stats here for you. Moving up 3 spots throughout from your starting spot after 100 laps is still a feat in itself. Moving up with Evan Hinkle as well. Uh, Congratulations on bringing home third.
Thank you, sir.
And do you have any friends, family, or sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to, man?
Yeah, I want to thank Big Al's Guns and Keltner's Contracting and K&M Marina for letting me put it on my car. Uh, I want to thank you for putting this on, Drew and Evan for putting on the league, and everyone's out there watching. I shared it out to a few people, and they always enjoy watching. And most of all, I want to thank my wife.
Yes, sir. It's been an honor to broadcast the Battle of Bluegrass this season and catching up with all these with you and rest of the drivers here. It's been spectacular. Hopefully, I come back along on board next season.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks, sir. And you have a good summer racing in real life, most likely, man. And there you have it, your third place finisher of Justin Benefield. We're going to hear from Dalton Brown here shortly. And Carter, I'm going to bring it up that he needed to get low. Just to let you know before before the interview happens, man. And Dalton, do you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, that was a good battle. You're the Todd Steele Building's hard charger. You moved up at 11 spots. You moved up into second and brought it home tonight from second or for second home, I guess. Seemed like you can put the car anywhere early on in the race, and then you just went up to the high side there late in the race. Whereas your tires ended up going away a little bit to where you couldn't go down the bottom like Drew was down there.
Oh, that's what me and Drew was just talking about. He had just a little bit more than I had tire-wise left, but it was so hard to hit that bottom ever lap like he was, and I was just more consistent on the top. And I knew we kind of had the hard charger thing wrapped up, and I was just rather kind of ride it out, and hopefully that bottom gave up, and I could make a run at him more than just go down there and keep missing it, keep missing it.
And that makes sense there. See, we had a viewer during the broadcast on the Facebook side, Carter Marlowe, kept saying that you needed to get low, but with that one, you already explained yourself there why you couldn't get down low there.
Yeah, I'm not as good at being able to slow down and run a bottom like Drew is, and it's something I need to work on before the next ones.
Yes, sir. And how was it? Because we didn't really see much of you coming through the field. Tried to, but we missed it. But how was it coming through the field back there, moving up your 11 spots?
There's a couple of restarts. I made a lot of positions up. I do want to apologize to the 83 if I wrecked him. I ain't sure what happened there. I thought I made it obvious that I was throwing a slider, and I guess it didn't clear. I ain't too sure.
And I will say with that one, it seems like what I've heard about this last update on iRace and the netcode box has opened up a little bit more than the average netcode box too.
Yeah, it's definitely been a bigger problem. A lot happier this week to run second than I was last week.
Yes, sir. I can only imagine with that one. At least you came home second here to conclude the Battle of the Bluegrass. It's been awesome watching you because you're always the big mover. It seems like after or for the features.
Yeah, was kind of hoping to start toward the front tonight with it being 100 laps, and I messed that up myself in the heat race. I wasn't trying to spin that dude, so I just got on the brakes and lost 5 or 6 spots on it.
Yes, sir. And again, you put the respect in the driving too. So it's I know these drivers greatly appreciate that 100%. Uh, do you have any sponsors, family, or friends that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, my wife for letting me do this every Sunday. All the boys at Shock House, TND Excavating, and everyone else watching. Drew and Evan for putting this deal on, and you for streaming it.
And thank you, sir. Hopefully, we come back next season and catch all the action here once again.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and
Thank you.
congrats to Drew on the win. Also,
Thank you, man. You have a good night.
you too.
And there you have it, your second place finisher and your Todd Steel Building's hard charger, Dalton Brown. Next up, we're going to hear from your winner here tonight of Drew Hopkins. And Drew, do you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Man, you led every lap here tonight. You led every lap of your heat race, every lap of the feature. Everyone's running the outside there, probably with the last 20 laps, but you started running that hot bottom there. Um, what was the difference of you being able to run that bottom side compared to everyone else not coming down there to the bottom?
Yeah, I've always been known to run the bottom on here, and I tried telling them on Discord. I was like, I bottom one and two, so a lot faster and ripping the fence. But it's technique hitting it down low like that because a lot of guys want to kind of enter not right on the bottom, being the slick, and it just upsets the car. And there's a hole down there too, so you kind of gotta miss it and just get the car kind of set. And you gotta, I mean, I was probably quarter throttle, half throttle all the way through one and two, and really three-fourths throttle the whole race there, just trying to keep the tires under me. And I knew I had to get out of I got a good draw there in the heat and got out, won that. And I knew I just had to get out. And I think I saved quite a bit out front, not getting pressured by anybody really. So I think that kind of helped us there late in the race.
And it seemed like you went out there, took the early lead, and just maintained your own rhythm, trying to save some tire, but still maintaining the lead as well.
Yeah, I had enough. Every time somebody get close to me, I'd get going pretty good because I didn't want to lose the lead. Because you never know at the end when there's going to be cautions and somebody's running your line. And I ain't very good at running the top around there, so I knew I had to stay out front so I could run that bottom.
And also bringing up the kind of the caution thing, you, you and the rest of the field, I guess the top six were right there, kind of close. Once y'all caught up to the lap traffic that were battling for position, uh, did you did that play a factor with where you ran at and everything, trying to hurry up and get around lap traffic, get a little bit better gap between you and the second place driver at the time?
Yeah, the starts I would that one restart there, Dalton and three and four, he got a good run down the back stretch. I thought he was gonna get to the outside of me, but there is a little like if you could enter in three down low, it just shot you up across the middle there, and it had some good tack out. And we just, I, I pretty much know what to do on the starts to get a good jump, and was able to do all the starts good tonight. And lap traffic there, it did get kind of sketchy because one of the guys up in front didn't have a spoiler there for a minute, and they're just always so much slower without a spoiler here. And it was a little scary. And Evan was coming in there pretty good, and Dalton, we all got close right there at one time. But past that, it was just pretty easy hitting the bottom one and two and run the slider on three and four.
Yes, sir. And you also come home with the Big Al's halfway leader, Big Al's Guns halfway leader. Congratulations on that as well, and coming home with a victory here tonight.
Yeah, and I think we that puts us winning the championship. I hate Caleb couldn't be here. You know, he's been second, first. We've traded the lead a few times in points. I wish he could have been here. He's on vacation. So shout out to Caleb, give me good runs. Wish he could be here tonight to race the points battle out. I think we pretty much had it locked up with him being out going into the night. So I knew that, but wanted to come out here and at least win another one.
Yes, sir. And it does suck that Caleb couldn't be here because I know that, hell, not just him, but everyone in the league here puts on a hell of a show to for the viewers.
Yeah, and Caleb, he's a wheelman, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm looking at our points right here. I was trying to get them calculated. I think he won quite a few. One, two. He ran really good in most of the races he was in. So I think the points battle would have been interesting if he could have ran the last 2 weeks, because I was kind of nervous that he was going to get us.
Yes, sir. But you end up coming home with it. You came home with the win here tonight. Do you have any friends, family, or sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first and foremost, just my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Just everybody in this, like Evan for putting on. He's got a lot of crap putting this deal on. We just do it to have a little fun in the winter. We got some real racers in here and stuff. I hate it went the way it did, like some of the stuff that's happened over the past few weeks. But Evan does a really good job. I've promoted races for a long time. I don't do it anymore, but I know the heat he gets. And we're just coming out here for fun. So I just want to give a thanks to Evan and just everybody who ran the league. I know we had a lot of hiccups, and there's some not here tonight suspended. But we just had to put them rules in because it was getting out of control. But just thanks to all them guys, and thanks to my sponsors, my Majority Speed Shop, Keltner Contracting, Todd Steel Building, Sponsor League, Big Al's Guns, Klay Comm. He is the Chancellor. He's the title sponsor there. And if I'm forgetting anybody, I think I'm forgetting One Source Exterior Group. Guy from here, look him up. He sponsored the heat races, and just all the partners and everybody that helped put on this league.
Yes, sir. And couldn't do it without sponsors, as mentioned multiple times throughout the weeks here. Um, and once again, congratulations on your win here tonight and taking home the championship for the Battle of the Bluegrass.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, sir. And you have a good night, man.
You too.
And there you have it, your top 3 finishers rounding out with Drew Hopkins and that 157. Again, a huge shout out to all the sponsors here for Battle of the Bluegrass, presented by Comm. Your heat races were presented by One Source Exterior. And we also had Todd Steel Buildings for your Hard Charger Award. And your halfway leader sponsor goes to Big Al's Guns. Thanks to all the sponsors here with the Battle of the Bluegrass series. And once again, for Right Rear Racing, it's been an honor to broadcast this league. And hopefully we come back next season. As for our next broadcast, it should be tomorrow night with the Two Fat Guys Sim Racing Promotions, starting at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, for that broadcast to happen, we do need to have at least 12 drivers there for that series. Then we're going to pick up again on Thursday with Dirt Series for their indoor series there. So make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to Right Rear Racing here, as we will be going live Monday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time right here on Right Rear Racing.